Good morning. Morning, Mayor.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. And it's great to be here with our mayor. This is the second time in 3-4 days that I'm with the GSDM. Get Stuff Done Mayor. And we got stuff done on Friday with the taxi drivers, where he was very, very helpful and cooperative. And today we're announcing we have gotten stuff done with the deliveristas, both important in terms of equality and worker justice, etc. So as many of you know, I took a bike ride with Los Deliveristas Unidos. That's about it. Doesn't get any better than that. About a year ago, and they showed me how difficult and demanding their job was. It's awful. You're at everyone's whim. Sometimes these companies, these apps, send them 40, go downtown, then go all the way uptown, and be there in a half hour. And nobody cares about them. Another big problem, the people they meet sometimes don't know that they're not getting any tips and getting very low wages, so they don't tip them at all like they would tip other people. And of course, very difficult riding in the city. People get injured, people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, but the Deliveristas Worker Justice Project has been fighting for justice for these people. There are lots of them. How many? 65,000? 65,000. I could say that in Spanish, but I don't know how. Who are doing this low-pay, long-hour, tough working conditions on the streets of New York. So at the time after I did the bike ride with them and saw how difficult it was, I said I was going to meet their number one demand, which was better infrastructure. My team and I got to work. We met with the delivery workers. We understood what the problems were, what they needed, and then we worked to find solutions. And then we looked for a partner, and there was no better partner than Mayor Adams, who has been just great on this and done all the things that we have asked together to get it done, and he deserves kudos. Oh, here's what I learned from Senator Sheldon Whitehouse while we're doing language. It is not kudos, it's kudo. What do you think of that? Yeah, no, a kudo is more than one. He deserves kudo. There you go. He went to St. Paul's. I went to Madison. They didn't teach us about kudos at Madison. But in any case, so he's been a great partner. We worked on this from the ground up with the delivery workers. We brainstormed every angle. We tried to problem solve, and that's why we're here today. And I also want to thank all the city agencies at the mayor's direction, the Transportation Administration, Adonis, the Parks Administration, Donahue, over there, my fellow Brooklynite, and so many other agencies, which the mayor will mention, have worked with us on this, and they did a great job. So, the first part of this plan is street hubs for the deliveristas. You're riding on this bike long times, you need a break, maybe you got to make a phone call, maybe you have to take care of your personal needs. All of these things, I had another joke about that. Can I sell it? No. All right.
They're writers.
Well, I'm going to tell it anyway, and my staff is going to kill me. So in third grade, we had very, very strict teachers at PS 197, and we had to write a poem about a room in the house. And so one of my colleagues wrote about the bathroom and said, this is the room where we hang our towels. This is the room where we move our bowels. And the teacher made him change it to this is the room where we hang our towels. This is the room where we take care of our personal needs. We need to take care of our personal needs as well. All right, he's shutting me up. So deliveristas have to do this job without this necessary and important infrastructure. They're constantly out on the street, no place to rest, no shelter to protect them from tough. Imagine it's pouring rain or even snow, and you still got to do this. It's not an easy job. And during COVID, we learned these are the folks who brought everybody food when they couldn't get it anywhere else. And they didn't quit. They didn't complain. They didn't stop. It was just great. They're amazing. So many are immigrants, and we all know that immigrants work harder than anybody. They believe in this country. They believe in making a better life for themselves and eventually their families. And it was incredible during COVID how great they were. And so it's also, as I said, a huge workforce. And so we're going to take underutilized public space on our streets, like this newsstand right behind us. It's very simple. In other words, mayor staff came up with a perfect implementation and used it for delivery workers, places they have to charge their e-bikes too. And this is a place where they can charge their e-bikes, get rest, get shelter. It's a game changer. The hub, it's the first infrastructure of its kind for app-based delivery workers in the whole nation. And as you know, app-based food delivery is just booming. And you need people to deliver the food. So here's what the hubs will do. They'll address the desperate need for delivery workers to have a place to rest and shelter from the elements in winter, a place to meet and get services like a bike repair. What if your bike breaks down? Where are you going to stop? And, you know, the restaurants who the apps use, some of them are very nice, as I did my job with them, and some of them are not so nice. That's who it is. So you need these hubs. It will keep the streets and sidewalks orderly by allowing the deliveristas a place to congregate. The hubs will be designed in concert with community input, deliverista input, to reflect the e-bike charging needs, the shelter, and neighborhood input. So we're not just announcing the plan today, there's money behind it. And I am not asking the mayor, who has so many other needs, to pay for it. I am placing $1 million. I've put it in the budget, which will be passed in December, the omnibus budget. And as majority leader, when I put something like this in, the chances of it being approved is like 95, 98%. So we're going to pay $1 million to help get these done. There's nothing more that I love than bringing dollars home to New York, but this one's particularly sweet because it's so needed. The funding is in addition to the money we secured in the bipartisan infrastructure and jobs law. $260 million is going to New York City for better bike lanes from the federal government, which is also, of course, going to help our deliveristas out, obviously. And we're working closely with the mayor and DOT to make sure that this money is used well and implemented well. And I have every faith that it will be. So, as I said, this is the first infrastructure in the nation for deliveristas, which are in many of our cities throughout the country. And we hope other cities will follow the mayor's lead and New York City's lead in doing this. One more word about worker justice in this city. You know, we have big income inequality in New York. And I think it's the goal of every New Yorker at all income levels to lessen that inequality. One of the ways to do it is to make sure that our taxi drivers have a decent life. That's what we did on Friday. That our deliveristas, very important job in the city, can have a good life. And that's what we're doing here in this. So I'm proud to stand with GSDM, Get Stuff Done Mayor, to announce this great program.
Thank you, Senator, and really want to thank the deliveristas and their organizing, and really my team that's here. Sue Donahue, Commissioner of Parks, Idanis Rodriguez, Commissioner of DOT, Manuel Castro, Commissioner of Mayor Office of Immigrant Affairs, and Commissioner Meuga, Commissioner of DCWP. It was the combined effort of all of the agencies involved and the workers to actually materialize and make this happen. And we cannot say thank you enough to the senator. Sometimes when you're dealing with these large ticket items on the federal level, you have to keep your eyes on what is happening right here in the city of New York. And having the leader of the Senate to, number one, look after those yellow cab drivers who felt as though they hit a bend in the road that they thought was the end of the road, but we made the turn. And we were able to really reshape those medallion costs and it is saving jobs and saving lives. And just as we did it for those drivers, we're doing it for the everyday workers who are here, and we just really want to take our hats off. Sometimes we take it for granted when we get our Uber Eats, when we get our food delivered to us, that the people who's delivering that food is also attempting to have food delivered to their homes as well as they provide for their families. I saw it firsthand during COVID. They did not shelter in place. They could not do their jobs remotely. They were on the ground delivering food to you when you were calling so you could provide for your families. And so we owe them a debt of gratitude as being essential workers. Essential workers need the essential tools to do their jobs, and that's why we are here today. We talk about 65,000 workers who are on our streets every day, making it happen, using their equipment, their forms of transportation, charging their batteries, making sure you have the bike lanes, all the things they need to provide their jobs, just as you and I need tools to provide our job. And these are essential services. We saw that, and we're going to continue to make sure they have the infrastructure to carry out what they need to perform their duties. These vacant newsstands were perfect examples of how to properly use the infrastructure so that they can charge their batteries, they can take a break, they can get out of the inclement weather, they can connect to the resources of the city. We're not only going to use these infrastructures so that they can have a place to rest, but we're going to have resources there to let them know about some of the resources that are available to them as they continue to move up in our economy and in our city. We're going to also have ways of protecting the use of motivating and promoting the use of protected equipment that they can use as they're moving around this city. And Senator, you're right. The rise of delivery apps, who would have thought, go back 5 years, you did not see this level of delivery apps that are taking place. The rise of the delivery apps is causing us to rise to the occasion and give them an opportunity to provide their job in the correct way. We're going to modernize these structures. I walked past here and told my team, this is a blight. How do we turn the blight into a tool that can be used to provide a job? The newsstand business has evolved and changed, and we knew this is the best way to do it. And the hubs will be designed with input from the deliveristas and communities. So this is a real partnership where they will both come together and design the hubs on what they're going to look like so that everyone can feel like they are part of this. This is a great opportunity of utilizing our dollars to address the problem firsthand. And so I want to thank you, Senator, and I want to also acknowledge that you are GSDS, Get Stuff Done Senator, you know.
Glad the S was senator.
And so, we want to bring on from the Los Deliveritas Unidos, Lihia, to come and say a few words. Thank you for your partnership and your team. I see you ladies and gentlemen out all the time doing the right thing for our city. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mayor.
She does a great job for the Deliveristas. We work so close.
Thank you. Well, thank you for your leadership, Senator Schumer and our Mayor Adams, for leading the way for Deliveristas, not only in New York, but showing how we can build the right infrastructure. And there's no better way to do it than in our city. So I'm proud to be here on behalf of Workers' Justice Project and Los Deliveristas Unidos. And we're back in City Hall at actually exact this place since 2 years ago. And I'm proud to do it now, not alone, but with two Deliverista champions who have showed commitment and leadership to build not only the right infrastructure, but also ensure that workers can have the right protections in our city. And I'm excited, and we're proud to actually be partners and in making sure that we can work together so we can invest and build the first nation's deliverista hubs. A new infrastructure model, as it has been said, that will deliver worker-led training, essential services, workers' rights information, micro-mobility charging stations, and a safe place for deliveristas to rest. Thank you, Senator Schumer. Thank you, Mayor Adams, for investing in the vision of building a street deliverista hubs that will transform the app delivery industry into a profession that deserves living wages, safe working conditions, and now a new worker-led deliverista infrastructure. And it was in this same place, right, in these parks, where deliveristas began organizing 2 years ago, using public spaces like these, not only to rest, but also to share meals, play soccer in the parks, discuss workplace issues that they're experiencing in the app delivery industry, and even to demonstrate their collective power they have as an unrecognized union of app delivery workers. And 2 years ago, it was the first time when deliveristas decided to march all the way from 76th Street, Upper West Side, all the way to City Hall, dreaming that a better life is possible, that they can build a new future, reimagine a better infrastructure. And during this 2-year journey, deliveristas have gone from rewriting the rules of their own industry to now bringing 2 deliverista champions to help them design New York City's infrastructure for 65 deliveristas across the city. This is what deliverista power looks like, not only in the app delivery industry, but in the streets and also in the best city of the world, which is New York City, our city. Deliveristas and Workers' Justice Project is proud to stand here with Senator Schumer and our New York City Mayor Adams, our allies, as partners, and as real champions of deliveristas, who are not just putting their words and their commitment, but are putting their money, putting their resources to reimagine a better future for 65,000 deliveristas that deliver our foods and many other primary resources across our city. Thank you, Senator Schumer, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, for your commitment, for your leadership, and we're here to continue, as we say in Spanish, la lucha sigue. Until no deliverista have to risk their lives, earn poverty wages because of the lack of infrastructure. And we're here because deliveristas unidos jamás serán vencidos. Deliveristas unidos jamás serán vencidos. Thank you.Tas unidos jamás serán vencidos.
I gotta go, Mayor.
Okay.
Going out to Freeport.
Oh, we got a shirt for you. You got a shirt for
thank
you.
you. Oh, beautiful. I have the black shirt, now I have the white shirt. Thank you, we love you, and we're gonna stick by you and keep helping. Thank you.
Thank you.
We should have a contest of the best designed bike.
Good idea.
We'll do a few on-question topics, and then we're going to do a few off.
Hi. On topic. Thanks. Hi.
How are you?
Good. Can you talk a little bit more about how many hubs you're hoping to create and how much you can really do with $1 million?
It's a start. It's always a start. And then we will evolve to more. Sue, you have the exact answer?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you for that question. We have a number of vacant former newsstands like this across the city, and we're going to be analyzing each of those and seeing how we can move forward. It will go through our usual process, which we do with concessions. We'll take it before the FCRC, go through a regular negotiation process. But we at Parks, along with City Hall, have always looked to see how we can revitalize spaces that are in our parks or adjacent to our parks, and we see this as a great use of these empty spaces.
What about not just in underutilized public spaces like this newsstand, but in former outdoor dining seating structures like on the street? And also, once the funding is in place, how long will it take for them to be up and running?
Again, as we look at our street furniture, our street structures, our street former newsstands, we want to look at all of these structures and how do we use them appropriately. And so this is a start. This is the beginning of re-examining our street furniture and our street designs so that we can use it, the infrastructure in the right way. You know how long it's going to take, Sue?
We'll go through a process, the city process with the FCRC, our normal negotiation process. It will take at least a few months because we'll be seeking a sole source agreement to move these forward. So it'll take at least a few months.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, given that they're going to be charging their batteries, will the fire department be involved in any sort of regulation? Because there have been issues with these batteries, catching fire and exploding.
Always with any structures we do, we're going to make sure Parks, because Parks is in charge of these structures, we're going to make sure DOB, that we meet the standards. We're going to make sure FDNY, we meet the standards. So we're going to make sure that this is going to be a safe place for the deliveristas as they do their job.
Can you put this into context a bit? What kind of charging stations are there now? What's availability?
Great questions. It was amazing the relationship between some of the restaurants that wanted the deliveristas to deliver their food and allowing them access just some of the basic things they need, like like charging their batteries and other things. It just was not in place. They did the best they could, and now we want to formalize that they have a location where they can actually carry it out. This industry just expanded beyond our imagination. As I stated 5 years ago, did we know what a deliverista actually was? Did we know about these food apps? I think that COVID sort of expedited how much people were using these apps. And so this is a new industry. We have to pivot, shift, and evolve based on the growth of the city, and that's what we're doing.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, well, actually, first a follow-up to the commissioner, kind of to piggyback off of Dana's question. Is there a ballpark estimate for roughly how many hubs are going to be created with that $1 million? And then secondly, during the pandemic, an issue that emerged was bathroom access for delivery workers. And I'm wondering, are any of these structures going to have bathrooms?
First, the first part that you asked. Once we get the exact numbers, we'll let you know. We don't want to guess. We're going to let you know. We know we have $1 million. We will see how much that takes us based on the build out. And once we know the exact number that it would take, we'll let you know. And then if this is something we want to include in the budget next year, the first $1 million came from the senator. If we want to include this in the budget to keep expanding, we're going to do so. We're going to see the usage, how popular it is, how much people enjoy it, and we will evolve as needed. January 1st, 2022, restaurants were required to allow the deliveristas to utilize their restrooms. And so there won't be restrooms inside these structures, but they now can utilize the restrooms in restaurants.
On topic?
Who is going to be staffing these centers? Is it going to be the CWP workers, Parks Department workers?
You want to touch that?
Yeah, we don't envision that there will be staffing, there will be maintained, it's going to be charging hubs, it's going to be locations for gathering. We don't envision that they'll be staffed, but it'll be gathering places for the deliveristas.
Okay, we'll do some.
Mayor, what's your takeout order?
I have my favorite slutty vegan food. I'm normally like cooking myself, as you know, or go out to eat. So we're gonna do some off topics, so we want to spare you the off topics. That this is rougher than a pothole. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Yeah. Let's come in and see you.